So the Mail has well, of course, they've been after Starmer from day one, haven't they? So the business fury at Labour's Revolution for Workers, they've got this take on what is, it may well be a centrepiece Labour policy, is it, Jonathan, to try to make things a bit fairer for new workers especially?
Absolutely. I think this is a really significant set of announcements. It's been branded the New Deal for workers. That's what Angela Rayner, who's leading on it, describes it as. And it's about giving basic rights to workers in their jobs who have been exploited for too long. And let me just give you a very quick example. I used to be, as you know, as everybody knows, used to be an MP in Leicester, lost my seat. In Leicester is known for a lot of sweatshop, where there's lots of good textiles in Leicester.
There was a very dangerous situation,
Yeah, but there is, unfortunately, exploitation that goes on in some of these factories, not all. And some of the measures that are going to be introduced, I think, will stamp out some of that exploitation.
OK.
So it's a good thing.
Well, it's a good thing, Anne.
No, it's not a good thing at all. Some of it's not too bad, but I mean, effectively, what they're doing is they're giving you rights from day one, including, for example, to paternity leave and parental leave, from day one. Now, employers do need a certain amount of predictability. They want to know that if they take somebody on, then there's a guaranteed period.
Just of 6 months where you don't get pregnant.
Well, if you like, yeah.
Yeah, but it's more to. I thought it's more to do with the fact that you can claim unfair dismissal from day one. Now, the issue there, Jonathan, is if you take somebody on and they turn out to be absolutely awful, you've got to be able to sack them on the spot.
Well, I mean, that is going to be allowed. There is going to be a probation period in this of 9 months.
But you can
so
still
if somebody's just not suitable, an employer is still going to be allowed to show them the door. So there is a probation period.
So when it says right to sue for unfair dismissal from day one, that's wrong.
Well, there is going to be a probation period, because it depends whether you define unfair, doesn't it? I mean, if you're clearly not suitable for that job, then you can't carry on in the job.
Hang on, have they got a right on day one, as is being claimed, to sue for unfair dismissal?
They will be a probation period.
Yeah, so
but if the employer doesn't think it is unfair...
Yeah, well, it sounds like... So if on day one the worker is no good and you fire them, they can come back at you. I think you're sort of conceding that.
No, they can't come back at you, because in those circumstances, that's not unfair, because if you're completely unsuitable for the role, the employer can get rid of you.
Sure.
But there is this period. There's going to be this period. And, of course, this is all going out to consultation as well. So it looks like when you read the small print, it suggests that some of these laws aren't going to come on online until a few years, because there's going to be a couple of years, because there's going to be some consultation.
OK.
But it all comes down to what you define as unfair.
So there is an actual contradiction there. The employer can sack anybody for the first 9 months, but actually, no, they've got a right to sue on the first day. Come on, which is it?
No.
It's got to be one or t'other.
No, it isn't. If it is unfair... right, then you have rights.
Yeah.
But if you're not suitable for the job, that is not unfair. If you're not up to the job, it's not unfair to get rid of you.
I understand. We understand that, but we're thinking that often there's a difference of view of whether the worker thinks she has been fairly sacked. Previously, they'd have no comeback because they just started in the office. Now you'll have a comeback on day one. I mean, that may be right. I don't know. And why not? Why not say, look, from day one you've got rights?
Because, quite obviously, if somebody is completely unsuitable, the employer is going to find it out very, very early.
Well, it's the employer's job to find out the interview.
And therefore, no, not always.
Well, if you haven't done it, you're no good as an employer.
I myself have run up against that, where something that did not appear at interview at all subsequently appeared.
What was it?
No, I'm not going to go into detail, because...
They like to work naked.
Don't be ridiculous. I've only employed a few people, and therefore, I'm not...
No, but I think it could be mental health or something, for example.
But I'm not saying.
OK.
But what I am saying is, it doesn't follow that everything comes out at interview. And if the person even seemingly is very, very good and then turns out to be rubbish, you've got to be able to say, go.
Yeah, but I'm only making the point that if you interviewed someone and you didn't find out they were no good at their job, then with the greatest respect, you're no good at your job as the employer.
That's
and you should get the heave-ho.
That's absolute rot, as I think most of my employees would tell you.
Right.